I started 1962. Now it's 2022. So this is exactly 60 years ago. And this was Hull, an open boat. I built a little house outside, and there is me. And there's the boat sailing. And here is how it is. It was 4.75, 60 beam. And then some other boats. And then this boat was 67, 68. I sailed to England with it. And then I had a schooner. Was like this one.
The big one.
And from 1885. And it was Dampferroof, which means steam launch hull. I converted to a stationary schooner. And then I built this boat, coal-motored, in my mother's basement. And this is this one, sailing here. And then I made this one in aluminum. Started 76. In 1980, I sailed around Cape Horn with it. And then I experimented with this little one. It was the first boat with a bow centerboard. And then this boat, it was 4.8 meter. I sailed to Newfoundland with. And here we have another picture of that. The strong winds. And then some years went by, and this was a boat with Shine Runner. Matt Layden helped me to design it. It was like this one. Inside, instead of a kid, we have these things there. I sailed from Ireland to Martinique.
What do you think of the Chine Runner
I
design?
think it's a good thing, but I think it's most good for coastal waters and like Bahamas and things like this. But on the high seas and a lot of downwind sailing, I think it's better with a centerboard you can fold up.
Oh, okay.
Makes no resistance, less resistance, and you can change get lee helm if you want to go downwind, and get weather helm you want to go to windward, like with a leeboard. Or a bow centerboard. But I think it's this Matt Layden design, the Paradox and Enigma and all these boats are very good boats. And most people, they don't go out on the ocean. And the east coast of the United States, it's a lot of sand. You know, it's from maybe New York go down to Texas, it's just sand all the way, you know. And also down in South America, it's a lot of sand. Even down to Argentina.
Kind of boat could make sense for a lot of people that are
and
just
also
doing
in
coastal
Europe,
stuff.
you know, like Denmark, Holland, a lot of England, you know, and many places where there's a lot of sand, beaches. So this is a little bit, but then this boat with
The X-Lex.
side by side.
Yeah.
I sailed 2018 to Azores. Here is it at sea. And here is another one. And this is how I sailed with that boat. 2020, 78 days here, down to Horta, and then down to Madeira, and then up here to Ireland again. And it was in Horta I met Sam Holmes. A big day in my life. And now we are on the next boat. But first, the plans. So we make it clear.
So how has the trip evolved? First you were going to go to Australia, right?
Yeah, started here and then, but South Africa, well, it's a very windy place. and it's a lot of shipping, and it's a lot of crimes, what I heard of. I don't know if it's true, but this is what I heard. So I thought, I don't want to go there and go into South America or Brazil. It was a bit dangerous nowadays. So I thought going to Australia, but then the Australian government, they said I couldn't get a visa here in Sweden, and they said I had to apply to Canberra, and at in Canberra they didn't have email, and of course I knew they were lying to me because
Who doesn't have email?
I mean they just must have to email, and I said I had to phone them, but you know, to phone them. So the plan was to go to New Zealand, but then now with Putin having war here in Ukraine and maybe starting a nuclear war and things like that, 90% of people live up here in the northern hemisphere and the air circulating there. So I thought maybe safer go to Chile, to this place. And then I start up here in Norway like I did 2010, sail down here to Azores, fill up with food, down to the Falkland Islands, and then we can look at the map from those side. So up here is the Azores, and then I said here, and here comes the southeast trade winds. So I really have to do a bend into here, because there is the equatorial current taking you that way, and as not to miss the corner in Brazil, I have to do a return here. You have to have, so you can have some leeway here. Then plan was to go to Uruguay, but then I thought 1980 I was cruising the Falkland Islands for 4 months in winter. So doubling Cape Horn is really sailing Atlantic 50 degrees south, around Cape Horn 50 degrees south in the Pacific. That's the Cape Horn doubling. And that's the hardest things you can do because it's against the current, it's the wind. But Falkland Island is south of 50 degrees south. So then my idea was, I say north again, 100 miles, crossing the 50 latitude, then go south and around Cape Horn, coming up here, maybe to this island. And this island is the same as this island. It's really a big thing. And there's a lot of small islands here. And it's like more primitive life, you know, like they have real cows and real chickens, you know, and that's where potatoes started, you know. It come from here.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Well, that's at least what they say. They got 100 different kind of potatoes, and there's a lot of rain and bad weather and things like that, keeping the tourists away.
Uh-huh.
Only hardy Nordic people and just people here can live there, and even down here.
Plenty of hard sailing to keep you occupied.
So, but there's no marinas here, you know.
Uh-huh.
Same thing here in the Falkland Islands, no marinas.
So your keel design is the...
I have to adapt the boat to that.
So show us how you've accommodated the boat to be able to...
Yeah, here's keels. And now I took bronze keels. I think it's about 150 kilos. Each one is 75 kilos.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you can have lead too, but the thing is with bronze, it's 90% copper. And copper is anti-fouling. So when the boat is rubbing against the land and things like this, takes away the paint. But usually people keep the boats in the same place. So if the rubs away the anti-fouling, it also rubs away the growth. So they don't worry too much about that. But for example, if you're on the Falkland Islands, the anti-fouling gets done away, and you go out to sea with no anti-fouling. The goose barnacles and all this sad thing, you know, will grow on the keel. But with bronze keels, it's not like that. And the same thing I will have with rudder, bronze rudder, and a very strong thing. And also to make the boat get weather helm, I will have a bow centerboard here. And here I have the hatches. And another thing is food. Here is part of the centerboard trunk. So it's just working here. Under here is like water. So now just to make it quick, you see, otherwise I have it only takes 2 minutes to open this. And this is pegs going here, going to the side. And this is just one single thing in the middle, and they come staggered here.
Aha.
And that way I save a lot of space.
Clever.
And each soda has 3 jugs, is it called?
Yep.
And each jug has 5 liter, and I can get 5.5 into it. And we go down really nice here. Let's see. So that's it. And once more. Here's the sleeping room. And under here is the batteries. And here's the, on the side is food. And there's more water there. It's like 12 liters, 6 liters there, and 6 liters there. 1 liter a day. And here I have the hats. I have like kayak spray deck. Here I can put around.
Because this is where the hatch will be to go outside, right?
Like the hatch will be like here.
So when this is open, you'll be able to keep the sleeping room dry.
Things dry. And the hatch is a bit like this way. It's a bit. This is like what engineering use for ruler, you know. It cannot turn because this roof goes this way. And that's distance plus that distance is always the same. Now this is longer and this is shorter. So you cannot turn it. And you can open this forward, you can open it backward. And if you don't want it to open backward, you can tie it down with the lashing here. You can put there. And you can lift the door up on the combing and getting it down. And getting the hatch down, I will have a ratchet strap down here from the, here is the hatch.
Yeah.
And goes the ratchet strap down to here. And then it's just one thing and you can tighten up as much as you want.
That's clever.
And it's quick, it's just one thing. You get the even distribution of force around the gasket. And
what is your the method you use in construction? You have like a foam?
yeah, it's a diving cell. It's a foam core. In my case, it's 70 millimeter thick, and the bulkhead is 30 millimeter. And usually it's very strong, you know. It's both up to 60 feet. Only use 20 millimeter for core, you know. So this is mostly the thickness. It's mostly for insulation and flotation. And
why the carbon on the inside and then the fiberglass on the outside?
Because it's, if you get really strong hits, you know, if you run into like a container or something like this, you got a lot of tension on the inside skin. And that the forces are spreading out in a 45 degrees angle like this. So it really gets over a very big area here. And now carbon is very, very strong in tension. And it's really could be as well good with glass fiber. Doing a cell. Here's 30 millimeter doing a cell. And to make a test piece, I made this 7th of May 2015. And each square meter of this is 5.14 kilo. And it's one layer on the bottom inside, one layer on the outside of 450 gram. And for rear, you know, I'm walking on this, well, only today. Me and Sam has walked on this for maybe 10 times or more.
Yeah.
And it's 7 years, you know. It's like at least 30,000 times we've been walking around here. And it's just as good as new. Not even getting into the glass.
Holding up great.
So it's very good for wear and very good for things. So it's such a good thing, this material, you know. It's insulation, it's flotation, and it's strength. And if you have watched this before, as long as this, maybe you'd like to support my ideas, being a supporter, donate to the X-Lakes, the canoe cruiser, on yrvin.com. You can find donate button with PayPal and Swiss this number. So this is just an introduction to my life on boats, and it's a good thing for the world. And if you don't have a lot of money, well, build a small boat, you know.
Yeah. And if you want to subscribe, you post a video every day about the progress, just the little projects you're working on.
Yeah. Even where we go?
Well, you just hit the subscribe button on the bottom of this video, and they can subscribe to it.
Yeah, exactly.
You've been doing this for how long?
Since about 1 year. 21st of I started on this boat. Here I will put up a little sign, I don't forget it. And it was on 21st of August 2021.
So there's lots of video content on the construction of this, from the foam, the design of the hatches.
One video every day.
Every day. Lots of content.